Welcome back to Rugby right now. Chris Clarkson back in the seat of love. Chris, we've got to ask you about your hair because it's looking a bit atrocious. What's actually happened?
Yeah, well, we have a thing at Widnes where if you do something wrong, you have to roll the dice, and unfortunately, I had to roll the dice and I had to bleach my hair blonde. So instead of cutting it off, I just dyed it black, and because of the recent sun that we've had, it's come out a bit blonde.
What did you do wrong?
What did I do wrong? I think I was late for
You turned up in your Leeds gear.
Turned up in my Leeds gear. Damn.
He's got it underneath there.
Kev, you've got one eyebrow. Is this the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty ruthless at the club. If you're late by 5 minutes, they want a piece of her. But it's not the worst, is it? There's a Steph Marsh haircut that you.
What's a Steph Marsh?
It's bald on top and bald receding with a little island on the front.
It's really bad. Danny Gallia's had it and he looked atrocious.
Yeah.
And he took it like a champ. True champ.
He did.
Right, now we're going to talk about your teammates. We've got a load of questions to ask you, and you've just got to be honest. You can confer, you can discuss, but we need complete honesty right now. So are you ready to play Widnes teammates?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Right, who would you say is the most skillful at the club?
Let's see.
Reece.
Nah, Reece can't catch a
Yeah,
ball.
what about you? Yeah, I think you as well.
I used to be a stand-up. You know.
This is pathetic.
I think Kev. I'm going to have to say Kev's the most skillful.
I'll say Reece.
You say Reece.
Yeah.
Right, who is the fat boy? Who's the fattest at the club?
You've got to say
Freddie. Eamon O'Carroll.
Who's the worst on a night out? Who would leave the guys on a night out for a girl?
He's sat right over there.
Alex Gerrard.
Alex Gerrard.
Is it?
He actually did that on our end of season drink.
No.
He did last year. He left us for a girl after an hour of being with us.
Who's the strongest in the gym? Who does all the PBs? Who's the strongest?
Phil Joseph, innit? He's a machine. He can bench 200 kilograms, squat 200 kilograms. He's just an all-round machine.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty strong.
Who thinks they're strong, but they're really not?
Without body.
No, there's
Oh
no, it's embarrassing. But I don't think it's strong.
Who thinks they're good looking, but they're really not? Is any lads who are super vain? They think they're really good looking, but they have shockers.
I don't know. You probably know better than me.
Yeah, do I?
I'd like to say that I'm quite good looking, but
Yeah.
many people are telling me that I'm not. So they
Don't put yourself down like
must
that.
be lying.
It's not that bad. I'd say say Danny Tickle. He
Tickle?
Yeah, he spends a fair bit of time and
He wears some outfits.
yeah, he wears some. We joke about him because he has a white belt that he strangles his jeans with him.
I can ask you, who's got the worst dress sense? Mr. Tickle.
Yeah, Tick's
Right
is
up there.
really bad, really bad.
Wears his jogging trainers with his jeans.
Who's got the worst taste in music?
I don't know. I don't really listen to much music.
Danny Craven's got pretty bad
Yeah.
taste. He's John Clark as well. He's
John
got
Clark
this
is the
DJ
worst.
Chris Butler, and he's great, but repeated,
too much.
and he just
Lots of old school
Yeah.
songs. And,
Who's the quickest? Who's the real flyer at the club?
Steph Marsh.
yeah, Steph's
Steph Marsh,
lightning
maybe.
quick. Yeah.
Who's the slowest?
Probably.
Probably maybe Phil.
Yeah, Phil or Freddie again, maybe.
Who's the prankster? Who pulls the pranks, laugh for a joker, pulling the...
There's quite
There's a few, isn't there?
Freddie's up.
Freddie's
always
a
at the-
joker.
He's always at the
Kev
middle.
likes to pull a few
Yeah.
pranks.
What's the best prank you've had at Widnes over your time
The
there?
best
You've
prank.
been there a few years now. What's the best prank?
The
What
best
springs to
prank.
mind?
It's pretty tough when you put me on the spot.
Yeah, I know. But it's what's all
Yeah.
Under pressure situation.
Yeah.
Find that gap, Kev. Put us through that gap.
Yeah, I don't know whether Phil. I room with Phil Joseph. I don't know whether it was a prank or not, but we had 3 towels. We share them, and 2 was on the floor, and he was drying himself with the other one. So that was a good prank he pulled on me when I was rooming with him.
Right, we're going to go over to the NRL now, to the place where Kev really wants to end up. We're going to go and find out. I'm joking. Jokes. We've got our man Jared Coote, whose actual uncle is the great Ron Coote, Australian Hall of Famer, and he's down in Canberra, and this is this week's NRL Roundup.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Absolutely privileged to give you all the NRL news from down here in Australia. And let's get straight into it. I'm here at the nation's capital, Canberra. As you can see, the weather's not so good down here at the moment, but the footy team, the Canberra Raiders, they are absolutely on fire at the moment. Everybody wrote them off at the start of the season. They were favourites for the wooden spoon. Well, it hasn't been the case so far this season. They did get off to a weak start, but they have well and truly hit form. This win on the weekend has moved them right up into the top 8. 56 points to 16 winners over the Gold Coast Titans. Amazing performance by them. Their best of the season. Coach Ricky Stewart really has them fired up at the right time. Another huge clash we saw this week was the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Penrith Panthers. Now, the Broncos are on top of the ladder, but we were expecting big things from the Panthers this season. Of course, they had a good year last year and a solid start to the year in 2015, but they have been cruelled by injuries and suspensions, depleting the team. They did have a big one return this week in Jamie Soward, but it wasn't to be. They didn't score a try in this one, but what a low-scoring encounter it was. 8 points to 5. The Brisbane Broncos ended up winning this one. 2 tries to none, but surprisingly, the Panthers were in front at the death. It took a moment of magic from Ben Hunt. He went for a field goal late in the game, but it didn't come off. But as he did earlier this season against the Roosters, he took a risk at the death. A minute and a half to play. He threw a dummy, went out wide and found a try for the Broncos to seal the result. A massive performance by Ben as he really lifts his chances of a possible bench spot in State of Origin. Another look at a huge game this weekend, and it was the Cowboys taking on the Bulldogs up there in Townsville. Now, big things expected of the Cowboys this season. They had a terrible start, but it is now fair to say they are the form side of the competition, been going incredibly well, and they got off to a flyer in this one. We really expected them to really run away with this one, but the Bulldogs showing some traditional grit that we know they have, with a bunch of players coming back from injuries and suspension, namely Dave Clemmer. They really fought hard to get back in this one, and they did, but then at the end it was too much class from the Cowboys. Michael Morgan, Jonathan Thurston, absolutely amazing performances to regain the lead and win this one. Huge performance by the Cowboys, really setting themselves up as premiership favourites. Now, in other news this week, guys, we had some huge signing news, something we didn't expect here in the NRL. Rabbitohs hooker and New Zealand hooker Isaac Luke has been given permission to leave his contract early with the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and he has signed a 3-year deal with the New Zealand Warriors starting from next season. Isaac said he wants to be home, closer to his family, and he's going to be able to do that now, play in front of them each and every week. And what a signing it is for the New Zealand Warriors. Of course, they've only recently announced Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback, with Isaac Luke there in the 9 jersey, Sean Johnson in the 7. They have an all New Zealand spine, so I think we can expect huge things from them in season 2016. Finally, guys, in State of Origin news, of course it is a fair while away now, but all the talk is about Origin. Who will the halves be? Pearce, Maloney, Reynolds, Hodgkinson. We're not quite sure at the moment. Coach Laurie Daly really keeps his cards close to his chest. But in terrible news for the Blues, Greg Bird ruled out for the entire Origin series. He went to the judiciary to fight a lifting tackle. He has a terrible rap sheet at the judiciary, but he took this one on. If he had his charge downgraded, he was free to play in Origin, but it wasn't to be, copping a huge suspension, 8 weeks, and with the Titans having buys throughout the State of Origin period, he will now miss the entire State of Origin series. Terrible news there for the Blues. Thanks very much, guys. Back to you in the studio.
Cheers, Jared, top man there, Keith. First NRL roundup. Are you happy to have him on board, even though you hate Aussies?
Very professional. He's done a good job. I think we need to up his game a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, just a little bit. Kev, obviously, Jared down there in Australia, and you mentioned you don't want to. You're not really keen for going down there, but there's a lot of English players on the radar of the NRL clubs. Do you think that's a bit of a worry for our game in Super League?
I think it is. You know, the talent that we've got over here is, you know, being scrutinised by the scouts from overseas, and the money that they've got. It's very hard to compete with. You know, when lads are getting thrown double and triple what they can earn potentially in England, in the NRL, it's very hard to not look the other way, so to speak.
But it is a short career, Keith, and Elliot Whitehead has made that decision to go down to Canberra, where Jared works, next season. Do you think a bit like that will be a big success? Do you think it'll help his game?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a great thing. Like I've said before, I think, you know, the players that are leaving, we need to fill them voids.
Yeah.
So then we need to start looking at more youth and more depth. So I think the more players we can get out there, the stronger the game over here will become as well.
From coaching the Championship this year with Sheffield, do you see a lot of players who you believe in that division could play full time? If they were training full time, they could play Super League. Have you seen a lot of talent in the division?
There is a lot of talent, and that's a lot of it's down to a lot of them have got real good jobs, and actually taking that step. You know, if you're 27, 28 years old, taking that step to go full time when you've got a real good job is a massive commitment. You know, so a lot of them are tied down with that sort of like prospect, but a lot of them are actually comfortable with where they are. And that's the disappointing aspect of some of it, really. You know, they could be a lot better than what they actually are. They just are comfortable playing in that division. But, you know, we are working hard, and the standard is going to get better, and I think you'll see it in this top 8.
Are you excited for the Super 8s, boys? Because obviously you guys, you've been tipped to be going into the middle 8.
Well, we've been training on 3G pitches just so we're ready for Widnes. Joking.
What do you reckon to the new structure of the game? Are you excited by it? Do you think it's going to be good for the game?
Yeah, it's exciting. It gives something to the fans, doesn't it? To look at obviously each game every week is pretty close. Well, most games are pretty close, and it shows how we beat Leeds and Hull beat Warrington. Any team can beat anyone.
Yeah, I was speaking to Steve Connor. Thanks for Steve for putting us up in the box. I was dressed in my tracksuit, then I expected it one bit, put me in the box, felt a bit undressed. Spent the afternoon talking to Tez O'Connor. What a legendary bloke he is. What a lovely, lovely bloke. He's talking to us about Rugby and yourself, Keith. He had a few nice words to say about you.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've been on tour with Tez, you know, played on the international circuit, and he had a great career at Wigan. Finished off at Widnes and still involved in the game.
Yeah, he was speaking about you guys and says that you were going to win your next 5 games. No pressure though.
No, but that's, you know, a realistic goal. We've you know, we beat the best in the league, I think, this weekend, and you know, over the last month I think we've performed pretty well, and if we can keep improving, then confident that we can go on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, Steve said bizarrely, if Widnes got in the middle 8, they'd make more money this season because they get higher crowds. But obviously he didn't really want to be in the middle 8, he still wants to get in that top 8. Yeah,
well that's the negative side of it, but they need to stay in the top 8. You know, there's a big chance of whoever's in the bottom 4 of the Super League that they could go down to the Championship side, so you know, they won't be taking any chances, they'll be performing the best they can. And I suppose you've just got to find a bit of consistency, haven't you? Because I think that's been the tale of the season so far.
Right, after the break, we will be coming back and we're going to talk about the Challenge Cup this weekend coming up. Challenge Cup fixtures. We're going to find out what it means to these boys, the Premier Cup competition in Rugby League. Keep it locked right here, Made Television, as we're talking Challenge Cup after the break.